intro. So my company is Healing and Bodywork for Animals. So I teach people how to use essential oils with animals. I also do bodywork treatments for animals, so emotional releases, helping prepare, boosting immune systems for vaccinations or surgeries, detoxing them. I do canine equine therapy massage, so injury recovery, seniors with mobility, or optimizing performance for your sporting animals. And then I do intuitive work, so I work doing animal communication and teaching that, as well as helping people understand their animal's perspective and what they're thinking. So my class tonight, Tony stopped by at one with Dr. Hal, who's an animal chiropractor over in Apple Valley. And we talk about how to use these essential oils with your animals. They work great for you as well, but they're a non-invasive therapy that you can do for many different reasons, and you can use them in conjunction with medicine or instead of medicine, or help preventing certain behaviors or conditions from happening. So they're not a cure for anything. I don't claim that you're going to take some essential oils and be cancer-free or anything like that. So keep that in mind. I'm pretty realistic with what you do and how you use them. I'll go over a couple safety tips first. Has everybody heard of essential oils first? No, not at all. Okay, so let's start really basic then. I kind of based it on who's at the class. So why don't we start with that? Why don't we go around really quick and introduce yourself, and if there's anything specifically that you're looking to get out of the class or that you want to know about essential oils, you can share that as well. And if you want to share kind of what pets you have too, that's always a fun thing. So how about we start with you, and we'll just...
Ron Gaskin, Shakopee, Minnesota. I have 2 cats that let me live at the house if I feed them.
I'm Shirley Carmen from Lonsdale, and I got horses and dogs and cats, and I do use essential oils for myself, but I would like to learn more about how to do it for the animals.
Okay.
Tony Mott, the director at Windmill Animal Rescue, with 50-some cats there, and ferrets and gerbils and hamsters.
Now
today,
hamsters, yeah.
and chinchillas, and then I have 5 dogs of my own and about 28 cats at home, and a horse and a donkey, and God knows whatever else happens to be living there at the time. I do wildlife rescue too, so in the spring especially it gets very busy. And I've used essential oils a little bit. I'd like to know more, because I do feel they do help, especially with the wild animals. I've noticed a big help.
I'm Dan Peterson. I have 3 cats. And until tonight, the only oils I knew were essential were the ones I put in my car, so I'm learning anything I can.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I'm Deb Chelson. I'm from Elko here. I've got a lot of cats and dogs, and I would just like to learn more about it and see how I can help some of my guys that probably need a little help.
Barb Miner from Jordan, and I have 4 cats, 5 horses, and I kind of do rescues and anything to do with animals, I'll be there. I don't know anything about essential oils either.
Okay.
I'm Megan. I have a golden retriever and I have 3 cats. And I'm here because I want to learn more.
I'm Italy Holmes, and I have a dog and 2 cats, and I volunteer at the Windmill Animal Rescue, and I would like to learn more about how to use essential oils.
My name's Emma Larson. I've been working at the Windmill for 13 years. And I have 3 dogs. And I had lots of cats too.
Thank you.
I'm Stephanie. We've got 4 cats at home and a toddler, so I'd also love to know how they could be useful for the kid and cats.
Pull this one out for you. This is what everybody wants as a toddler. Puts them to sleep.
Is it the lavender?
They buy it by the gallon.
Nice.
Well, to share, I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a horse. And my foster dog that I have is going home on Friday, and I've had him since February, so I'm super, super excited to get him home. Quick side note on him, he was surrendered, owner surrender, and he had severe hip dysplasia, 2 luxating patellas, and 2 torn ACLs. And we didn't know the extent of his injuries and congenital issues when we took him into rescue, but found out soon. So he's had a long road to recovery, many surgeries. In addition, he decided to eat a little garden hose, so we had an extra surgery in there. But we didn't know if he was going to make it or not, and be able to recover and live a pain-free life. So I am over the moon excited that he gets to go home on Friday and live with his new dad. And he's got still the severe hip dysplasia, but he's got some great muscle started in his legs. So he's an old English bulldog that's a year and a half old. So he's been through a lot. So anyway, just so I know, I do a lot with the rescues too, and obviously that's why I'm here today, is volunteering my time to just give back to the rescue and the animal community. All right, let's get started. Sounds like we've got kind of a fresh slate here as far as using essential oils. So what I'll talk about is just kind of the basics. These essential oils are Young Living brands, so they're therapeutic quality. These can be used on children, adults, cats, dogs, horses, donkeys, lots of different animals, and be successful. You can breathe in the essential oil to make it effective. You can put it on topically, and you can even ingest them, depending on what's going on and what results that we want to achieve for that animal or person. Not all essential oils are made the same. So you need to be really, really careful and be conscious about making that decision when you decide to use some essential oils. If you just want it to make it a little perfume for yourself and you want to apply it, that's one decision. But if you're putting on an animal trying to heal a wound, you may cause more damage and pain and infection if it isn't a therapeutic quality. And when I talk about therapeutic quality, this is lavender oil. This is pure distilled oil from the lavender plant. That's it. There's no chemicals, there's no toxins, there's no additives, there's no preservatives, nothing else. It's pure lavender oil. So that's very, very important. You don't want alcohols and chemicals in there if you're trying to use it for therapeutic quality. There are a lot of other brands out there. There's local brands, some of them very nice. I never use them, and I don't know the level of quality that they have, so I never speak on behalf of using any other oils. So just keep that in mind when I'm talking. I'm always talking about this particular brand, and not to say that there aren't other good brands out there, but this is the one I know about and I use. I started using essential oils 9 years ago on my own animals. I had a dog who was a senior, and he went into liver failure. And instead of putting him through the surgery and the biopsy at 12, a Doberman that was recommended by the veterinary clinic, I decided to just keep him comfortable and use some holistic options to help him through his last term in life. So that's, and ever since then, I just started learning more and going to classes and figuring out what was effective for the animal. So I've got about 9 years experience, and my own animals tend to be my little guinea pigs on that. But I do use it on all my animals. I love to use it on my rescues and fosters that come in to help them with the transition, de-stressing, and reduce the potential for infection. Before we get into all of the goodies and the good stuff, are we here at 8?
We can stay as long as we want.
All right, because I know it was 7 to 8, but we got started a little bit late, so I just want to make sure I stay on time. All right, just so you guys might, especially in the first row, start to smell this pretty quick. So I opened the bottle of lavender, and just a couple quick tips. And I'll pass some oils around too, so you guys can all experience them. But when you go to smell it, I can already smell it, but start down here and just wave it back and forth, and then let it come up. If you decide you want more of it or stronger breathing it in, then lift it. Don't start here. They're really, really concentrated, okay? I think the bottle of lemon, just to give you an idea, this one bottle, I think it takes, it's like 5 pounds of lemon to get. So it's very concentrated, just to kind of give you a visual of really what it takes. So always start down and do the same thing if you want your animal to smell it. Don't run up and sniff it, you know, stuff it up their nose. Let them, I usually open it and they're curious and they come up to it. And then if they start getting too close, I've got one that thinks she should inhale everything, then I start to pull it away so that she doesn't get too much. So be conscious of that. There's two places you never want to put oils, whether it be on yourself or on your animal. It's in your eyeball. Hopefully that's self-explanatory. It's in a sting. And the other place is down the ear canal. So these are all from live plants, and they have frequency. So, and we hear based on frequency, so that could cause some pain in your ear. So I've never tried it. You can drop it on a cotton ball and then put the cotton ball up to it, or swab around the ear canal itself, but don't let anything drop down the ear. Some of these can use topically on open wounds. Some of them you don't want to, can burn and sting. So, and we'll talk through some of that. Probably won't get quite as in-depth that we did at Dr. Hal's just because of the time, but we'll hit on some of the key ones that I tend to find are the most commonly asked questions that I get from animals. So, I'm trying to think of just quick safety. Less is always better when you start with essential oils. Again, I mentioned they were really concentrated, so we can always add more when we're talking about essential oils, but we can't take it away. You can't rub it off, you can't wash your hands and get it off. It's going to absorb into your skin and the animal's skin, and what's on there is on there. So it's got to then process through the bloodstream to process out of the body. So adding too much of anything is not a good thing. My analogy is always, if you ate a whole chocolate cake, are you going to feel good? You know, a nice little piece is okay, right? And it's not going to make you sick, but a whole cake is going to. So no matter if they're all natural, of anything, or supposed to be really good for you too much, or you take your whole bottle of vitamins, you're not going to feel good. So keep that in mind, and animals are really, really sensitive to this. So we always start with less, and if we're not getting the results that we want, we can always add more. Same with you. Okay. I think those are kind of the key highlights to even just starting to use essential oils and integrating them in. The most uninvasive way is to simply diffuse it, and that's letting it get through the air. So there's actual machines, and you can put the oil in the machine, and it with a fan or with water, like a humidifier, will get it into the air, and you'll start to breathe it. Even opening the bottle, you're getting it and breathing it in. So that's the most uninvasive way, and you can get away from it easily, and you're still breathing it in, you're getting the molecules in your system, so it's going to be effective. The topical application, typically we want to apply on location of whatever issue we're working on. So are we working on an open wound? Are we working on a tumor? Whatever it is, or a belly ache, put it on your belly, that kind of thing. Or ingesting it in. For people, they have capsules that you can actually drop the oils into and drink them just like a pill. Animals, sometimes we have to be a little bit trickier, putting them on a dog treat. Cats, good luck. There is one oil that works really well ingesting with cats, but most of them, they don't tolerate it, they can smell it, they're not going to eat something. Dogs, you can kind of sometimes fool a little bit. Animals, even though these are really good for them, some animals are very, very responsive to these. They love them. I've got one of my dogs, her name is Emily. I open a bottle, I get these out, she comes running, she thinks it's like a treat. Give it to me, you know, I put some on me, she's licking my hand off. The other one, I've only had her for 2 years. I rescued her, fostered her, and what we call foster feeling, right? And the other guy, my Bodie, I've had him since I got him, adopted him through a rescue as well, but I've had him since he was 4 months old. Every time I open a bottle, he does this. Oh, not again, Mom. You know, he tolerates it, but he doesn't love it. Still good for him. So you can get different reactions. I open the bottle and the cats run. So I've got one now that has been through pretty major therapy with the oils, and now he actually enjoys it. So just depends on the animal. So be mindful. Don't freak out if you go to use the oil on the animal and they're not loving it. It's not a spa for them. It's therapeutic. So let's start. I'm going to pass a couple different ones around for sake of efficiency and kind of getting your biggest bang for your buck here. Lavender and peace and calming. Okay. You can open them. You can put some on you if you want. A drop. I would suggest just a drop. You're not going to kill over and die. You'll be really calm. But just to give you an idea of kind of what they smell like. Both of these are used for calming in animals. Dogs tend to like the peace and calming better. Horses love the lavender. I use a combination of both. What I'll tell you is, for using it, anybody have anxiety with their animals at all? Separation anxiety, crate anxiety, anything like that?
Well, the one I was talking about, Poet,
Yeah.
I think his problem isn't really aggression. I think he gets worried when somebody comes in the store and his response is to growl at them.
Okay.
And I'd like to figure out how to deal with that.
So probably maybe more of a fear response.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or how about a horse that hates the farrier?
That would be, the peace and calming would be good for that as well. Calms them down. I use a combination of the peace and calming and the lavender for trailering. My horse is got some severe anxiety with that. We've worked on it over the years. He's much better now, but it used to take 3 people to get him in the trailer in about 40 minutes, if we were lucky. That was a good day. So yeah, you can use it on your horses. So quick example of how you would use it with your dogs. I like to put, depending on the size of the dog is how much you're going to use. So we're going to say an average 50-pound dog, okay, just to give you kind of an idea. I would put 2 to 3 drops in the palm of my hand and then apply it to the dog. And the reason I'm putting it in my hand versus directly on the dog, it's a couple reasons. One, the oil comes out really fast, so I can control the amount of oil that I get on the animal. 2, the animal tends to move. And as soon as you want to try to get it in a specific spot, what are they going to do? They're going to move their head, and you're going to get it somewhere you don't want it, like in their eyeball or something. So it's more for safety. So I put it in the palm of my hand. I take a couple drops and put it on my fingertips. For dogs, I like to put it right behind their ears. Or you can, if they've got ear flaps, lift up and just put on the pink part of their ears, where there's more skin than fur. And that will absorb in nicely, right in their bloodstream, and get in their system. What it does, it's actually a chemical reaction that occurs within the body. So it doesn't just smell good and now I feel calm and soothed. What it's actually doing is the brain, once the olfactory system smells the oil, the brain then has to make a decision, right? That's our control center on what to do. And when it smells lavender or peace and calming, it says release your feel-good hormones. So your endorphins that calm you down, that's what it does. So then that triggers that in the body. And once our hormones are released, that are feel-good hormones, we're calming down, our blood pressure, our heart rate are lowering. So naturally then we're in a better state, we're calmer. So on the flip side of it, when you're anxious and you're nervous, whether it's farrier, trailering, new person coming in the door, person leaving, and the animal's at home by themselves and they're feeling anxious, or a new surrounding, new animal in a new home, their adrenaline is kicked in, so the opposite, right? We've got the opposite the flight reaction going on. So it can help counterbalance that. It's not going to knock them out. It's not going to sedate them. It's not going to make them immobile and not be able to do anything. And it's just going to take the edge off and give them a little bit better sense about themselves. So, for instance, when I was trailing my horse and having trouble with that, it just made it a little bit more manageable and tolerable. You could think about it instead of freak out and not even be able to handle it. So I use this a lot. If you guys are involved with the rescue, going to adoption days. So anytime I'm going to bring one of my fosters to an adoption day, There's lots of dogs, lots of people, lots of volunteers, lots of switching dogs are all here. Take this one, now hold this one. I want to hold this one. You know, somebody else wants to meet this dog. There's a lot going on, so I usually put a couple drops on my foster when we go to some kind of a meet and greet or adoption day. So, a couple different ways. I know you guys too think you mentioned cats. The Peace and Calming is really nice for anxious cats, or if you're trying to integrate new cats in, this is a nice one. So if you've got a change in the household, so even just diffusing this in the air, cats you want to be really, really careful with adding and putting topically on. They metabolize a little bit differently and don't always appreciate the oils. So diffusing them is a very uninvasive way, gets in their system a little bit through the air transport, and then they can be, or putting it on if there's a bed that they like to lay on, versus applying it directly. You can apply this directly to them. I put 1 drop in my hand, 1 drop for a cat, rub my hands together, and then wipe down their spine. That's it, the extent of what they need, that little. So, very small amount for cats.
Which one was that, Jimmy?
Peace and Calming.
Okay.
Yep. You can use lavender too. I find the Peace and Calming is more beneficial for the cats as well. So, can help with some other urinary stuff too, but they tend to like that smell better than the lavender. So, and lavender though is very, very versatile. I'll quickly go over just a quick highlights. I've got my cards up here at the end. I can pass those out, but I've got written up reference guides on the how-tos, how much, where do you put it, how do you use it, on my website that you can go download the stuff too. So, but lavender is really good for burns. Putting it right on topically, right on the burn, so sunburns. Horses a lot of times with the white muzzles, they get that sunburn, so it's very soothing on that, or pink skin animals, or actual physical burns from oven or different things like that. Or, did anybody see the news, the puppy that just got pulled from Mac? Nobody saw that.
The pit bull puppy?
4-month-old little pit bull puppy found on the street, emaciated and full of cigar burns. Horrible.
And he had a really gash in his
Yeah,
eyes,
yeah,
that was really infected.
So this would be really good to put on and very soothing, and then also help, lavender helps regenerate the good skin cells, so it will help heal quickly. Also good for itch, so itchy, dry skin. A lot of times this time of year, our dogs get that dander, and they're just itchy, itchy, itchy because it's so dry, in addition to any kind of humidifying that you're gonna do in your house. I like to make a little flora spray with this, or mix it in with coconut oil. I've got short-haired dogs, so it's a little easier to rub it in. Longer-haired dogs, I would do the flora spray and then pull their skin or their hair back and then just spritz in there a little bit. Shake the bottle before you do it. I'll couple quick highlights. Let's see how we're doing on time. I think we're okay. Purification is a blend of essential oils. It's got rosemary and lemongrass and citronella in it. Guys, does that sound familiar or anything?
Bug spray.
Yes. So it's an all-natural bug repellent. You guys got it. Love, love, love using this. It smells good and it's very effective. I use this along with a bunch of others and actually make a bug spray. That recipe is on my website as well. You can look that up if you're interested in making your own. Or I've got it in a store in Edina. I actually sell the pre-made bottles, but all natural bug spray. So how I use this as a preventative for bug control is I put it on my dogs weekly. And I use this in lieu of flea and tick repellent. So my choice, I'm not recommending to do that to you. You need to do what's comfortable for you. I choose not to use a preventative like that and use this instead, and found it very, very effective. I've got one dog who's 90 pounds. I put 5 drops a week on him. My other dog's 50 pounds and she gets 3. Just to give you an idea of how much oil you would be using. And I do it weekly to keep the scent. If I'm going to go camping or out to a park and go hiking with them, I'll do a second application